welcome back. If you're new here, don't forget you can hit the subscribe button, and I hope you'll stick around. But today I thought we would have a sit down and chit chat about how I'm going to use this Samhain season with the veil being thinner to try and work on my psychic gifts. And this is something that I'm really excited to do, and I never thought I would say that. If you've been on the channel for a while and you've been watching my videos way back when I started looking into, you know, my spiritual journey and wanting to deepen my connections, before I even called myself a witch, I was doing videos on here like getting crystals and things like that and doing like mystery boxes and things. So I've been interested for a long time, but the thing that always held me back was this complete fear of spirit and of ghosts. I've been afraid of that for a long time, since I was a child, when I would see things at night in the darkness, or I would see things in my room and it would really frighten me. And I struggled for a long time with nightmares and with not being able to sleep very well. So it's been a thing for a long time. As I stepped into my witchcraft practice and started to want to connect with my ancestors, I started to find that it was really holding me back, this fear. This fear has really held me back, and I've been very shut down since I was a child. I feel like I shut myself all off and shut everything down because I didn't want to see or feel anything. And I have had a couple of experiences where I've seen things, especially when I was nursing, but I'll be honest and say that I have really struggled with the whole idea of working with spirit, and there's a lot of not so much gatekeeping as fear mongering amongst the witchcraft community, I find, and it doesn't help. What makes it worse is I'm always waiting for that jump scare like it's a horror film. Oh, it's just a nightmare. But yeah, today I just feel very differently, and I have to lay it all at the door of Hecate. Ever since I started working with her, I really feel like I've been able to connect much more easily with my ancestors. And since working with her, things that have been complete gaps or people I've been unable to find on I'm working on like my family tree on Ancestral.com, not sponsored at all, it was just the place that I chose. But I've been working really hard to try and fill in gaps, and since bringing Hecate in and asking for her guidance, I've found that a lot of those gaps have filled in, and I've found myself really longing to connect spiritually and psychically with my ancestors. I'm not necessarily interested at the moment with just connecting with a random spirit. It's more just my ancestors. Sorry. Oh, I keep yawning because I'm not very well this afternoon, but I really wanted to come and talk about this because Samhain season is the perfect time to just step into your psychic gifts and to try and work harder with your ancestors. And I have to explain, I call it Samhain season. I know a lot of people just think, you know, October the 31st, that's it, it's just one day. Because I'm a disabled witch with very limited energy, I find it so... Don't start chewing my books, little man. No! Because I have limited energy, I do find that I was trying to cram everything into those 1 days that we see as the wheel of the year. Oh, do you want to host? I usually found that I was really sick on that one day that somebody decided was the day. So I thought to myself, why not do it as a season? So between Halloween and Yule is that season to me, and the veil is thin all through November. You can see quite a few different cultures celebrate Day of Dead or celebrate the dead or try and connect with the dead through November. So it's not just Halloween, that's kind of the start of it. It goes all through till Yule. So that's how I see it, that's how I try and celebrate the season. And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, you know what, I'm actually not afraid. There's been a couple of times where things have moved. I know it's my ancestors because I went to see a psychic like a week, 2 weeks ago, and she actually said, you know, there's things moving around in the house and that's your ancestors. Like, don't worry about it, that's your family. So there's been times where things have moved at night and I've gone to the noise, not run away from the noise in Yvette Fielding fashion. So I definitely feel like I'm braver now and I feel stronger. I feel very protected because I have my ancestors. I work with Hecate, I work with Diana, I work with Archangel Michael. They're all psychopomps and they all are very protective. So I feel very secure in my protections and very secure in my decisions moving forward to try and work on my psychic gifts. I have 3 books here, but I've been working on and reading a lot of books about particularly connecting with ancestors, tarot and using tarot. This one really inspired me. This book is by Matt Oren and it's The Psychic Art of Tarot. I also want to get his first book, The Psychic Witch. I want to get that book and read that as well. So those 2 books are very high on my list of things that I want to work with. I also have this book that I'm dying to read. This is Magical Mediumship by Danielle Dione, and we have done a review of a book by this person called Chronically Magical, which is about chronic illness and witchcraft. So I'll leave a link to that review down below. And it's A Psychic's Handbook by Michelle Welch, and I've been diving into this book. I've been taking my time. Usually I like speed read the book to just get an idea of it and review it, and then I work with it afterwards. I did that with this Matt Oren book, which I did also do a review of, so I'll leave a link to that as well. Sorry, lots of links. But this book, I don't know, I just feel called to work very slow with it. But I really am excited to delve deeper into this book and just the different things that I can work on in this book. It's definitely a workbook, not just a book. So that is something that I'm really excited about. And I think working with these sorts of books where you're working on opening yourself up again is very important. I'm also going to be diving more into deeper meditations that are much longer. And this is something that is not easy for me as somebody who is not just a witch but also disabled and also a carer of my mother along with my husband. It's not easy for me. We've also got a puppy, so it's not easy for me to take a big chunk of time to just be meditating. And you know, my mom's very much of the mind that meditation is something that's a bit silly to do. I don't know, I get that feeling from her, and so I often feel like she doesn't take it seriously and she'll be noisy downstairs or play music or something. I need to get some really good headphones, I think, to stop the sounds of everything out there. But I've really enjoyed doing meditation and I really want to get into daily meditation again. And also I want to widen my ways of communicating with my ancestors. I do have dowsing rods and I have seen people use dowsing rods to communicate with ghosts. Also tarot, and I don't think I'm of the bravery level for a Ouija board, but maybe in the future, long way in the future. But you know, who knows where this journey is going to take me. Really, I'm just doing my best to keep moving forward and to connect as much as I can with my ancestors and with my spiritual line, so that I can hopefully gain more insight, more healing, and move forward in my spiritual journey, because that, I believe, is why we're here. That's why we've chosen to reincarnate as Beverley in my situation. But you know, we've all chosen this, in my beliefs anyway, to reincarnate, to learn and grow and keep stepping it up. It's one of those things that is eternal, but you know, if you Who was it who said that time is a spiral? Who was that? If you think of time instead of being a linear line, like we as humans understand it, you know, the future's over here and the past is back there. Time is a spiral. If I can find information about that, then I will definitely leave a link to it down below, because I remember reading about this. So if time is a spiral, then you could, you know, the past and the future, we're all happening at the same time, and it's all layered on top of each other. And so I can probably glean information from my past, as well as past lives, as well as my future self and my ancestors, and work on this psychicness. Because I would love to be a psychic. I would love to help people by being a psychic. The psychics that I see, and there's two in particular that me and my husband go to see, they're incredible. I was asking, when I went to see the psychic, I was asking her things, and she was telling me how it's not like they just come and stand in front of you. She said you'd have to be like very rare that you're going to meet a psychic that sees things in front of their face every time, like they're seeing their hand in front of their face. It might be an image or something in their mind, but it's unlikely to be something like that. And a lot of the time psychics gain messages through memories, through TV signals, or something they hear on a podcast or radio, or certain feelings or tingles, or they will need tarot or something to communicate. So there are many ways that you can communicate, but I think quite often we feel like, oh, it's going to be like somebody talking in our ear or a conversation, and it's rarely that. It's really some spooky spectre in the corner of the room, you know, and I'm quite glad of that. But also I think just being brave enough to be in this place, like if you've been on the channel for a while, you will know, like if you go down there and you watch my older videos, you'll see how me just talking about doing this and actually meaning it this time, it's a big thing, and it's something I'm incredibly proud of. I've been working with Hecate now for a couple of years, I think. When did I start working with Hecate? I think it's been a couple of years now, and all that time I've really been trying to bridge this gap between me and the other world, or the underworld, or heaven, or whatever you want to call it, that place where our ancestors reside. And I think sometimes I feel like Hecate is like this facilitator, right? Like a telephone or a TV screen or a Zoom chat or something. And she's helping me to get brave enough to make that move. I definitely had a lot of psychic gifts when I was a child. We hear a lot of people talk about this, that they have psychic gifts when they're children, but they get shut down by society and fear. And I think quite often that happens. So it's not something that I think, oh, I wish, you know, I was more open when I was a child, because I think I would have been even weirder if I had been psychic as a child, teenager and young adult. Can frighten them because we don't have enough knowledge. And I think now we're in a time where we've got so much more knowledge than when I was a child and growing up, and I feel like I'm armed so well with all these books in my arms and gods and goddesses that I've really connected with. And I feel like the time is right. One of my favourite witchcraft creators, Samantha Solaris, she used to do really regular videos, but now her life is really busy and she doesn't always have time, so she just kind of pops up on my feed every now and again, and I'm always really happy. And she did a video about not feeling like you have missed out on something, or it's too late to do something, not to have that FOMO and look back on your life or look at other people and where they are and feel like you're missing out or you're too late. I think quite often we feel that way, but that's because society is always pushing us to rush. But if you think we have eons and eons of time, not just this lifetime, to achieve the things that our soul wants to achieve, then it kind of opens up that door to us to not rush And I think that really makes me feel good. Like maybe I'm just placing the foundations for my next life. Who knows what that is going to entail, but I think sometimes you can feel like, oh, this is my one chance to do this thing, and if I haven't done it in time, you know, if you always wanted to be a YouTuber or to have a podcast or to write a book, then just do it. And I feel like there was always this feeling of I'm missing out, and I think it's that living in that social media age, but I think people have always felt that way. But we need to let go of that. We need to kind of step away from that in this Samhain season, a great time to kind of step away from those thoughts and feelings that no longer serve us. If you want to see how I'm getting on in my psychic journey, if you want to see how I get on as a disabled witch who is also a carer, and also trying to get into art more, and all the things that I'm trying to do in my life that I talk about here in my Friday videos, make sure you're subscribed and you check out my Monday vlogs where I share just how I'm getting on in life on a day-to-day basis, and I love sharing my vlogs, so if you're interested, stick around for those. I hope this video made sense. I feel like I was yawning every 5 minutes. I feel like I was making no sense at all. So I hope that I'm wrong in that. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a cheeky like, comment, subscribe, hype it up if you have the ability to, and just make sure that you are clicking all those buttons that are free to do so, and they are really magical because they help me to know, and the YouTubiverse to know, that you enjoyed the video, and it will share it out just that little bit more. Take care everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful, magical week. Never forget, you are loved, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.